Hey, it's Steve Cofield for ESPN Radio 920. Join me for UFC 79 post-fight, the only show coming from Mandalay Bay. It'll come on after the completion of UNLV's basketball game and post-game, roughly 11 o'clock Pacific time, streaming at ESPN920.com.
This kid has a lot of hype on him right now. Young guy, I think he's 23 years old. And on Saturday night, he's going up against the undefeated 11-0 Lyoto Machida. Ladies and gentlemen, so could you.
I'm kind of shy today, I don't know why, but I just want to thank Mr. Dana White for giving me a chance to fight in the UFC. I've always wanted to be in the UFC ever since I found out about MMA, and I can't wait to be in a cage on Saturday against Lyoto Machida.
It's been a long time in the making, and you know, Mandalay trains over at the gym where we're at right now, and it's kind of ironic. This guy who was the enemy for so many years and that I was trying to make this fight with is now around the office every day and is now a UFC fighter. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Wanderlei Silva.
Thanks. It's a great opportunity to me. After the fight in September, he took a lose. I was thinking he don't have this fight. I'm very disappointed. But everyone wanted to see this fight, and I waited for this fight for a long time. I'm training for this fight for 6 months, every day, 3-4 times per day. And now I have my best condition, physical, technical, and I'm hungry for to win. And I will knock out you Saturday. You're going to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
Well, I'm just excited this fight's finally happening. It's been a long time. We've been trying to get this going, and you know, I've been training hard for this one. I was going to take some time off after the last one, but you know, when they offered me this fight, I got real excited again. Got back in the gym, so I'm ready to go. I'm real excited, and I promise you, like I said before, I'm going to knock you out. So.
I actually got the call on Thanksgiving, shittiest Thanksgiving I've ever had, and I didn't know what we were going to do. George St. Pierre steps up to the plate and actually says he wants to take this fight. Call Hughes, it's on late notice, Hughes accepts the fight. This is, you know, I'm always talking about all the great things about this sport. This is an example of one of them. You know, a lot of times in boxing, if a guy falls out, it's over. You postpone the fight, you know, and it ends up happening a year later or whatever. But with these guys, two great athletes, two of the greatest welterweight champions ever in UFC history, they both step up to fight each other on short notice.
Well, I think the UFC for putting this fight together. It's funny, I found out that Matt Serra was out of the fight through the internet. It's amazing that I didn't get a call that morning, but I did have a message on my phone. I checked my phone, and it was Joe Silva saying, hey, you know, when Matt was out.
I was trying to kill myself.
So it's just funny how you find things out. But they ran through, Joe Silva got right on the ball of things. He made a bunch of calls. He called me back and said, this is who said no to the fight, and this is who you can fight. And I chose George. But you know, I feel like I'm kind of the old man in this sport, in this weight class anymore. I think age-wise I am, but you know, I'm not fighting really for money anymore. I'm past that. I'm fighting for battles. That's what gets me in the octagon every day. Is you know, my practices is I get to go in there and fight. And one thing about fighting George is I know he's ready, and I know it's going to be a war, and that's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm not the guy out there chasing paychecks. I'm the guy out there wanting to scrap. So I want to thank George, and I want to thank the UFC, and thank you guys.
Well, I'm very excited for Saturday night. Interim championship, 5 round against Matt Hughes. I want to thank the UFC, Matt Hughes, to have take the fight, and that's the best scenario I could wish for. So I hope it's going to be a great show, and I'm ready for a war. Thank you.
it up. There seems to be a lot of animosity between you guys. I mean, you really wanted this fight, but there seems to be a kind of underlying animosity. Where's that come from? Do you really dislike Mandalay?
I don't know that I dislike him. I just been wanting to knock him out for a long time. You know, it has more to do with our fans than anything. I've gotten more flack from his fans with no fight in sight than anybody. So.
For Matt, you made a public knowledge. You said it again that your motivation is it's not about money anymore, and you just want to scrap. You originally questioned George in your last fight with him about his mental toughness, but it's almost sounded like you're almost ready, to retire with what you're saying. Is that a fact, or are you still excited to fight?
You're not making any sense with your question. You don't think I want to fight, but I'm fighting George St. Pierre. I mean, I don't understand your. Is there a question in there somewhere?
Yeah, just in what you were saying, that you almost feel like you're an old man in the sport. You're ready to move on.
Oh, no. I just feel, you look at the guys, and I am the oldest guy. I mean, if you look at Chuck, I think he'd probably say the same thing, too. I'm not, I think in your weight class, he's the oldest guy there. So, I mean, I love to get in the octagon. That's what drives me. Facts are facts, baby. That's what drives me every day. I love the fact that I can walk in the gym twice a day, and I love the fact that I get to go in the octagon and square off against one person. But, there's guys in this sport to run their mouth. There's guys in this sport to promote other things. There's guys in this sport to make money. I'm in this sport so I can scrap, so I can get in there and compete.
I think what he was saying is he's overdoing paycheck fights. He just wants to fight tough guys.
I think he's saying he's been highly overpaid for a long time, and all he cares about now is just fighting.
Now, behind having an interim title for this belt with Matt Serra injured, as opposed to Sean Shirk at 55, who was laid up for a different reason, and Quentin Jackson, who I know you have plans for, but he's going to have a long delay, and he was injured as well.
Right. Because we're crazy fans, too, and I don't want to see Matt Hughes and George St. Pierre fight for 3 rounds. I want to see them fight for 5.
That makes sense, but for Matt Serra, I mean, he can feel kind of slighted, unless there's something to his injury that we don't know about, and it's a year or 2 injury.
Why would he feel slighted?
Yeah, he doesn't feel slighted. I mean, he's got a herniated disc. He can't compete, and he was supposed to get a title shot. He's the other best welterweight in the world, so it's for the interim title. It's 5 rounds. That's all we care about. We want to see him fight for 5 rounds. You know how many fights we have? And like, man, I wish this was a 5-round fight. Well, this time it is.
Why not the Dylan Silva fight?
Good point. Guys, what do you think? These two right now could fight for, these guys are arguably, you take him and Serra and Hughes and 3 best welterweights in the world. I don't think anybody has a problem with these guys fighting for an interim title. Except for you, Steve.
Have you talked to Matt Serra? I mean, there's no issue at all?
Yeah, I've talked to him. Okay. No, he has no issue. You're more pissed off than he is.
I'm really not. I want to see a 5-round fight. I want to see them fight.
Perfect.
Do we know what the extent of his injury is? I know Matt, when I spoke to him about a month ago, said that herniated disc is pretty serious and it could be a couple of years. I mean, this is a case where you're prepping for worst possible?
No, he's doing everything possible to get back as fast as he can. He's going through therapy and everything else, and he's pretty confident he'll be back in a few months.